Can you beat an entire Pokemon game with just 1 HP? No potions, no Pokemon centers, nothing. Just one single hit. And I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just an easier version of a no damage challenge? Well, firstly, that's incredibly rude. And secondly, no, because instead of relying on over leveling, I added level caps to make it so I can't just brute force through every battle. Is it possible to beat every trainer, gym leader, Elite Four member, and become the champion of the Hoenn region with just 1 HP? Upon spawning into the game, I met with perhaps the most important choice of the entire run. What time do I set the clock to? Which starters should I pick? Despite these two being some of my favorite starters ever, I'm forced to go with the ugly tree gecko for this one. If I'm gonna beat this game without getting hit a single time, two things are gonna matter. Speed, of which Treecko is the fastest, and a second reason I'll explain later. With Treecko chosen, I spawn into my very first battle, and immediately this is looking really bad. Unsure of what to do, I decide to use Leer, which apparently scared Zigzagoon so much that he immediately flees. Treecko's glance sparks fear into many, and I already fear his power. I name my Treecko Gizzard, which I had to look up to make sure it wasn't a butthole or a slur, and make my way over to Route 101 to train up for the first obstacle of this run, May and her level 7 chick. There are 3 Pokemon available on the game's first route: Poochyena, Zigzagoon, and Wurmple. Poochyena at this level only has the move Tackle, so trying to train against him is completely out of the question. In order to properly train against wild Pokemon in this state, we kinda have to just spam Tackle and hope that they use a non-damaging move several turns in a row, and then we can knock them out. This leaves Zigzagoon with Tackle and Growl, and Wurmple with Tackle and String Shot. And seeing as Zigzagoon's Growl will lower the damage output of our Tackle, it's off to Wurmple grinding for me. I encounter my first ever Wurmple and click Tackle. I get lucky and he goes for a String Shot, and I do around half health to him. Gizzard tackles again, and Wurmple goes for another String Shot. Now, having won 2 coin flips in a row, I can just finish him off with the last tackle. And with that, I win my first ever battle. You know, maybe this is gonna be easier than I thought. The next hour proceeds to be the most soul-crushing, punishing grinding session of my life. Send out Treecko, click Tackle, don't kill it. They tackle me, I die. Over and over and over and over and over again. Do you know how many Wurmples have just sat there, let me tackle them twice, and then decided, hey, you know what? It's time for you to die now. So many. Well, at least with all these Wurmple I'm killing, I'm Eevee training Gizzard in... God damn it. I sit here killing these worms for a very long time, with each level up hoping, praying that I'll finally be able to one-shot them. Level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9. No luck. Not even close. Finally, after sitting there for hours grinding on worms and raccoons, I'm finally able to one-shot Poochyenas at level 10. It's by no means consistent, but hey, it sometimes works. This makes grinding much easier, as instead of having to run from half the encounters, I can just spam A and hope that I kill. I grind all the way to level 11 and get the second reason that I chose Treecko: Quick Attack, a move that guarantees going first. Having a priority move will be huge in ensuring that enemy Pokemon can't knock me out. I grind all the way to level 12, and with that, I feel confident enough to take on May's level 5 Torchic, and that goes... Okay, well, maybe that was just a spring of bad luck. Let me try it again. Well, I mean, they always say third time's the charm, right? Gotta be a third time, right? What? You mean I actually did less damage this time than I did the first time? That's awesome. You see, the AI of enemy Pokemon trainers is actually different than the AI of wild Pokemon. While wild Pokemon just click a random move from their selection, enemy trainers have at least some game knowledge. So May's AI sees that I only have 1 HP, so she sees the kill on me using Scratch, and she will never pick Growl. This means that I have to kill Torchic in 1 single hit. And before you say, well, I'll just catch another Pokemon, I actually don't have access to Pokeballs yet, meaning that I have to do this with just Treecko. I train all the way up to level 14. I walk up to face the insidious chicken again, and... Since the current level cap is set at 15, we can't level Gizzard anymore, meaning that we only have 1 option: sit here and wait to get a critical hit. Yup, that is literally the only thing we can do. So I just sit here fighting May time and time again until I finally get that 1 in 16 chance, crit the chicken, and one-shot this stupid Neopets looking at chicken. I hate you so much. And with the first hurdle of the run completed, I'd like to kindly ask you to subscribe. I'm currently working on another Pokemon challenge that's even harder than this one right now, and subscribing makes sure you don't miss it or any of the other insane videos on my channel. After beating May and getting access to Pokeballs, I decided it's finally time to add my second team member. Yes, if you know anything about Pokemon Emerald, there's no doubt you'd expect me to use this guy. I mean, he's perfect for the challenge, and we just got to the area we can catch him. It's time for Shroomish. What? Oh, this guy? No way, that'd be way too easy. We grab ourselves Nubs and start training her up, and we're actually unable to train him the same way that we trained up Gizzard. This is because, and this may come as a shock to you, The sentient mushroom with no feet or legs is actually pretty slow, meaning that even if we go all the way back to the game's first route, the Pokemon still outspeed us. Luckily, Cascoon and Silicoon appear in the Petalburg Woods, and they have no attacking move, meaning that we can just run away from Pokemon until we find them and grind up on them. After much training, I get Shroomish all the way to level 15 and take on Roxanne. It's in this gym battle that I realize something. Shroomish sucks, and he can't even knock out a 4 times weak Geodude. I lose the fight and realize that Nubs just ain't gonna cut it. So I decide to grab a third team member in Wingull. I name him Jesus, as I have hopes that she will save us from the eternal agony that is Roxanne's lair. With Jesus on the team, I try Roxanne many times, until finally, with Jesus all the way up at a level 11, things click. After Jesus takes out both Geodudes, Roxanne sends a Nose Pass. I successfully get off a Supersonic, and Nose Pass takes me out. I send in Nubs, who gets a leech sheet off, while the Nose hits herself in confusion. The Nose hits herself again as Nubs gets off a Stun Spore. Now Nubs is finally faster than this rock, so she can spam Absorb while the Nose keeps hitting itself. After whittling the Nose down and Roxanne spams some heals, I have her down, and all I need to win is for Nose Pass to get paralyzed. Gizzard attacks, and after countless attempts, I finally claim my first gym badge. And in a well-earned celebration, Gizzard evolved. Moving on to the next area, make sure to pick up an Abra that I named Bungus, who's useless now, but just give it a couple minutes. I head over to Dewford Island and take on the Fisherman, and this level 11 Tentacool will surely be no match for... After walking back to Dewford, I make my way to Steven and get him the Devon goods, which finally gives us access to the EXP share. This should make grinding basically irrelevant, speeding up our time here ton. After grinding up for a bit, I'm able to evolve Bungus to a Kadabra, and then a quick, trade to an Alakazam. And with base 135 special attack and 120 speed, Bungus has become a monster that is going to help us zoom past most obstacles on our way going forward. Now it's on to the second gym leader, Brawly. And Bungus just absolutely stomps this battle. And with just a couple confusions, we have our second gym badge. But now, it was time to enter one of the hardest challenges of the entire run. No, not the next gym leader. No, not even the next rival fight. We have to deal with the impenetrable fortress that is the Plusle and Minun Gauntlet. These two evil rats have caused me more pain and anguish than you could ever imagine. You see, these creatures both carry Quick Attack, meaning that they will always go first and kill our 1 HP Mons. The only way to possibly move before them is to have a Pokemon that also uses Quick Attack while also being faster than them. Sounds easy enough, right? Wrong. So wrong. As Plusle and Minun have 95 base speed, meaning that there is only one Pokemon on any route that could both outspeed these and also have Quick Attack. Swallow, which I am too lazy to grind for. So I decide to go into the first battle just hoping to wing it. Pokefan Isabelle, I will destroy you. Start off with Bungus and go for a confusion, and to my surprise, she goes for a Thunder Wave for some reason, allowing me to do over half to Plusle. It's then that Isabelle decides to stop toying with me and executes a Quick Attack. I send in Gizzard and go for an Absorb, knowing that if Isabelle goes for a Quick Attack, I'll be outsped anyway. And to my surprise, once again, she doesn't, and I'm able to take out Plusle. Now it's time for mine, and he isn't so kind. Kills in Giz, I send in Jesus, who does horrid damage with Wing Attack. But instead of killing me, the demented mind of Isabelle decides to rub salt further into my wound, having her rat growl. Spitting in my face, she lets me get off 4 attacks before putting me out of my misery. Next up was Nubs, and then until I had but one level 4 Zigzagoon left. Isabelle is hysterical now.
This is what you brought to come defeat me? I am the god of this world.
She thunder waves to show me just how truly pitiful I am as I sit there, unable to move. But is not going down that easy. The damage couldn't be worse, as Isabelle sits there haunting me. But despite everything working against him, Bubu's iron will allows him to pull through, putting an end to Minun and defeating the evil Pokefan Isabelle. But it isn't over yet, as her partner in crime, Pokefan Cable, stands right next to her. And he has seen how the arrogance of Isabelle was her downfall, and he won't be undone. Caleb swiftly destroys me as I white out once again. Realizing I'm in over my head, I take the next hour and a half to grind up Electrike and challenge Cable once again. I send in Electrike first, and he proceeds to... oh god, I'm never getting past this. He takes out Gizzard and Nubs as well, meaning that I have no more priority users on my side of the field. I send in Bungus to his death when suddenly... and through an act that I can only describe as divine intervention, Caleb relents, finally allowing us through. Keep in mind that this all took 3 hours of attempts and grinding for 4 Plusles. But this was but a warm-up exercise for the true demon that awaits us. Watson was without a doubt the second hardest trainer I fought in this entire run. Hours upon hours upon hours of theory crafting, grinding, catching Pokemon, and dying over and over and over again. I knew going in that Watson was going to be an absolute menace, so I prepared aptly for him. I call myself a Swellow and grind up my entire team to the level cap at 24. Let me take this first attempt to show you just how hard Watson truly is. Firstly, he leads with his Voltorb. This thing is extremely fast with base 100 speed. Luckily, I'm able to take him out with my Alakazam in just a single hit. Then comes in his Electrike, who has a quick attack, meaning I have to take him out with priority. Priority moves are generally very weak, so this Pokemon is going to take at minimum 2 Pokemon of mine to kill. I send in Gizzard to weaken him with a quick attack, and then send in Nubs, who is now a Breloom, to finish it off with a Mach Punch. Then he sends in Magneton, and this thing is just great. First off, it's a Steel type, meaning that most attacks barely hurt it, bar Fire, Fighting, and Ground. There are no Fire-type moves I have access to, so I'm forced to look at Fighting and Ground. Every single Fighting and Ground type that I have access to this time is slower than Magneton, which means that the only move I can use to hurt this thing is Mach Punch. But guess what? Even after edging Nubs so that he would hit level 25 after killing Electrike, it still doesn't kill Magneton, meaning that Magneton proceeds to sweep my entire team and wipe me out. And we didn't even get to his strongest Pokemon, Manectric, who is the fastest Pokemon you can possibly have access to right now. And he also has Quick Attack. Well, you might be thinking, well, why not just train up a Manectric of your own? Because Watson is a filthy cheater, and despite his Manectric being level 24, Electrike doesn't evolve until level 26. I proceed to try it a second time, cause maybe, nope, dead. Okay, well, let's go in with more priority moves then. In Gen 3, there are 4 priority moves that deal damage: Fake Out, Quick Attack, Mach Punch, and Extreme Speed. And seeing as we can't get Extreme Speed, we only have 3 options. And Mach Punch can only be learned by Breloom and Hitmonchan in this gen, so that's out of the question. So our choices are Quick Attack and Fake Out, both of which have 40 base power. I decided to catch a Makuhita, evolve it to a Hariyama, with hopes that this would be the key to unlocking this entire battle. It wasn't. He can't even outspeed Electrike. Okay, let's try it one more time. This time, I'm able to Fake Out Magneton into healing range, meaning that I get a chance to get one normal fighting type move across. I click Arm Thrust, and it proceeds to hit 2 times, and then I die. I am truly hopeless at this point. I have lost to Watson 5 times now, and I have yet to even actually get to his ace. So I get an idea. I catch another Breloom, this one I named Dookie. And Dookie, he's here to serve as the better Nubs. You see, at this point, I realize if I'm going to beat this challenge, I'm going to have to start EV training all of my Pokemon. So I go all the way back to Route 101, put the EXP share on Dookie, and grind for hours against Poochyena to increase Dookie's attack EVs to the maximum, with hopes that he will then be strong enough to one-hit the evil Magneton. But finally, I'm able to maximize Dookie's attack EVs and evolve him. Surely now, I'll be able to beat him. At this point, I am thinking of giving up as this stupid Manectric lay insidiously over the corpses of all my falling Pokemon. But it's then, as I stare dead-eyed into his evil eyes, that I make realization. Manectric's only attacking moves are an electric one and a normal one. And with that simple realization, I had solved the case of Watson. I challenged the old man one last time, knowing that I hold the secret to his demise now. I lead the same way with Bungus taking out Voltorb, except he doesn't actually kill Voltorb, but instead dies and Swell has to finish him off. Whatever. After weakening Electrike, Dookie can come in and kill him. Dookie does a huge hit to Magneton, dies, and makes way for Nubs to finish the job. And now comes his last Pokemon, Manectric, the unholy one. But I've got a little trick up my sleeve. See, like I said before, the only attacking moves that Manectric has are Quick Attack and Shockwave, meaning that by using a Ghost type and a Ground type, I can switch infinitely between them, each being immune to the other's attack. I keep switching back and forth until Manectric finally runs out of PP on Shockwave and Quick Attack. Then I can bring in Nubs, as Watson can look on with nothing but horror as I slowly finish him off, giving me my well-deserved 3rd badge. Only 3rd! I decided to take a break with some good old-fashioned gambling. This allows me to get the TM for Psychic and teach it to Bungus. After easily taking care of Team Magma at the volcano, I wipe to this level 20 Taillow. Awesome. I make my way back and then challenge Flannery. I take her out pretty easily as Bungus one-shots everything on her team except Torkoal, which then I just throw the rest of my team out until he's dead. Next up is Norman, who is a bit more difficult than Flannery. Before taking him on, I actually grind out a Twisted Spoon, which can be found on Wild Abras, making Bungus even stronger. Bungus one-shots his first 2 Pokemon, and then Norman sends out Slaking. After getting off a strong Psychic, he kills Bungus. I make the mistake of forgetting about Truant and accidentally fake out with Champ here, when I easily could have killed him with an arm thrust. Ooh, whoopsie. It's not a huge loss though, as I can bring in Dookie, who can then kill with 2 swift Mach punches to the face. Then last up is his Linoone, who actually only has normal type moves, which means I can just bring in Sableye and finish off the fight, giving us our 5th gym badge. And with the 5th gym done, I decide to look ahead to the next couple fights, and I realize something pretty crucial. We are fucked. It's been pretty easy to skate by for a bit, just using Psychic spamming and then throwing the rest of my team at whoever's left, but with the enemy team sizes getting bigger, I could tell that wasn't gonna cut it anymore. So I decided it was time to look ahead and do something that I'd never tried before in my entire life. Planning. Firstly, we need to catch 2 Lotads, a Ralts, and another Abra. All of these we're going to need to have a plus special attacking nature and need to be fully EV trained in special attack and speed. This, obviously, takes a very long time, but I'm able to get through it with the knowledge that in the long run, it will save me lots of time. After a long time of grinding, I finally have the new updated team completed. We got Goopers the Alakazam, Please Don't the Gardevoir, Guy the Lombre, and Bungus the Lombre. Yeah, I kind of forgot the fact that I already had named my old Alakazam Bungus, which just makes replacing him all the more awkward. I try not to think too hard about the possible animal rights violations I'm about to receive, and make my way up to Fort Tree City before accidentally wiping to this Bradley's Mach Punch. After crawling my way back, I blow through the Weather Institute and head up to fight the 6th gym leader, Winona. I lead Bungus, who I've dragged out of the box. This is because I accidentally overleveled the far superior Goopers, so I have to use Bungus instead. So not only have I reused his name, but I've also decided to make the monkey dance when his replacement immediately messes up. So if I die in the middle of the night, make sure to look for spoon marks. Despite his raw hatred for me, Bungus kills Swablu and then does a good chunk to Tropius before dying. Please Don't then comes in and finishes the job and kills Pelipper using Thunderbolt. A TM I got by going back to the slots, baby! Please Don't kills Pelipper and Skarmory. Last up is Altaria that Please Don't doesn't quite kill and then dies herself, which is completely fine, as now is time to premiere my secret weapon. I send out Swellow, and for once we can take advantage of our single HP point and have him use Endeavor to get Altaria all the way down to but a single HP point. Aha! Now all I have to do is use one single priority. Oh, yeah. Forgot she could do that. Well, this puts me in a bit of a rough spot, as pretty much everything on my team is dead, bar the Lombre brothers, who never outspeed Altaria. It's looking like a wipe until Dookie pulls out some sand from his pocket, throws it in Altaria's face, and she sits there paralyzed. And now with the speed drop from Paralysis, Better Bungus can come in and finish her off with an Ice Beam. And with that, we have earned our 6th gym badge. Now you're probably thinking, he's got fully EV trained Pokemon. Is there a single battle left that will give him difficulty? Yes! I blow through the Magma Cavern in Team Aqua Hideout and make my way all the way to the Moss Deep Gym and get stuck in this puzzle for far too long for a 25-year-old man. But then this goes away, so then you gotta... Wait, oh, but then that one goes away. After thoroughly considering if being a YouTuber is slowly destroying my brain chemistry, I arrive at the sibling gym leaders, Tate and Liza. Wait, are they siblings? Or is it like a weird cult thing? Are they dated? Whatever. For this battle, I heavily planned, because as I'm sure you know, this is a double battle. And double battles in Gen 3 are really hard. You see, for some reason in Gen 3, if a Pokemon faints in a double battle, its replacement must immediately be sent out. Meaning that if the opponent uses 2 spread moves, you could, in theory, lose 4 Pokemon in a single turn. I needed to execute my strategy perfectly, as what follows is the hardest double battle in the entire game. I lead with Please Don't and Better Bungus into their Xatu and Claydol. Please Don't manages to fire off a Thunderbolt into Xatu and knock it out. This means that Tate must immediately send out Solrock, and Bungus can fire a Surf into both slots. A super effective stab Surf. Surely that will do. That's it? Are you serious, my man? And since my Surf did next to no damage, Claydol is able to fire off an Earthquake and kill both of my Pokemon. I decide to send in Guy and Goopers next. Goopers fires off a Psychic into Claydol, which Guy can then finish off with a Surf to the face, greatly weakening Solrock as well. Solrock then proceeds to take out Goopers with another Psychic. However, it's fine, as I got the perfect strategy now. With Solrock already pretty low, I can use Swellow's Endeavor on Lunatone, allowing a Surf to finish them both off. Why do I always forget they can do that? Doesn't make much of a difference though, because with Lunatone dead, we can do the same strategy on Solrock, earning us our 7th gym badge. Now you're probably thinking, well, Shawnee, you said that was the hardest double battle in the game, but all things considered, that seemed pretty easy. You fool! I've tricked you! For that was not the battle in question. You probably don't even remember this, but inside the Space Center, you actually have a required multi-battle. It's you and Steven versus Maxie and Tabitha. And for most, this would just be a fun little scene just showing off how cool and awesome Steven is. But not for me. For me, this was, without a doubt, the hardest battle of the entire run. No battle that I even spend half as much time resetting, strategizing, training up new Pokemon only for it to fail and start all over again. It doesn't even come close to the pain and suffering this ungodly battle cost me. Okay, before I get carried away, what exactly makes this battle so difficult? Well, it's essentially a 1v2, because despite Steven being the champion of Hoenn, he decides to bring a Metang, and the Metang only has 2 attacking moves. And you can't even hope that one of your opponents kills it, as it's not only a steel type, but bulky as all hell. And you know how I said it only has 2 attacking moves? Well, the other 2 are Reflect and Light Screen, which only makes it harder to kill. I cannot overstate to you how much I despise Metang after this. In my first attempt, I lead with Guy and go for a Surf. This kills the Camerupt on the right, but leaves the Mightyena alive. Mightyena sees the kill and targets Guy, which is another reason this fight is so hard. You see, the AI will always target me instead of Steven, as they see the kill on my 1 HP Mons. Guy dies and I send in Dookie. Metang, in his infinite wisdom, goes for a Light Screen. Thanks as always, Metang! Dookie knocks out Mightyena with a Mach Punch, but is swiftly killed by Golbat. But it's okay. Metang just uses a Psychic on Golbat that will surely knock it out, right? Nope! Metang goes for a Metal Claw on Camerupt, which does nothing. I go for a Psychic on Golbat and kill it, while Metang sets up a Reflect. Are you kidding me? And I proceed to wipe to an Earthquake to the face. Yes, you only get to enter 3 Pokemon into this battle. Okay, well, let me try again. This time with 2 Lombre for double the surfing power. And like a shooting star, Mightyena misses the takedown on me, and Metang decides to Psychic into incoming Golbat slot for huge damage. This is like a miracle from God. It could not be going better. I finish off Golbat and get Mightyena very weak with a Surf. All Metang needs to do now is to kill But this can still be salvaged as I managed to kill the Mightyena on the left, meaning that now it's just a 2v1, and I still have 2 Pokemon left. If Metang can just kill Mightyena here, I try 1, 2, 3 more times, failing each time. It's then I decide to change my strategy, and this time what I thought up was foolproof. Trained up my old cast form and lead with him. I start with a Rain Dance with the intent of dying and bringing in the Swift Swim Lombre brothers to clean up with a Rain Boosted Surf. But through an insane stroke of luck, both Camerupt and Mightyena's attacks miss, meaning that my suicide lead that was meant to die off instead gets another turn on the field. I use Weather Ball into Mightyena, and God must have finally taken pity on me, as it crits and kills Mightyena. Camerupt proceeds to kill me with a Rock Slide. I send in Bungus. Bungus fires off a Surf that kills both Camerupt at the same time, and all Metang has to do is fire off 1 single Psychic into either slot. If he does that, Bungus can then finish them off with a Surf and win. Steven, the champion of the Hoenn region, notices this and decides to go ahead and set up some screens. Thank you, Steven. Thank you so much. This causes me to get double targeted and lose out on both Lombre brothers in a single turn. Literally a run blessed by the god, and Steven couldn't do anything but sit in his stupid box of screens. Clearly, the cast form strat isn't gonna work, so I decide to train up a Tentacruel. Because, you know, maybe the problem isn't just Metang. I mean, Lombre have pretty low special attack stats. Tentacruel is extremely fast and strong, and maybe he can help. Nope. And in case you didn't believe me, don't worry, I tried it a second time, just to be certain. With all hope lost, I decide to spend the next hour calculating things out, and I finally notice something. Both Mightyena have strictly normal type moves, and since one starts on the right side of the field, if I lead with a Ghost type and then successfully used it to kill both Camerupt and Golbat on the left, I could even the playing field to a 1v2, but I would need to find a Ghost type that could both outspeed Golbat and be able to KO both Camerupt and Golbat in one hit. Can you guess what Pokemon that is? It does not exist. There are 3 Ghost-type Pokemon we have access to: Banette, Sableye, and Dusclops. Even with maximum speed EVs, Sableye and Dusclops never outspeed Golbat. So our only option is Banette. Banette's strongest move is Shadow Ball. Even with Stab and Max Attack, and at the same level as Maxie's highest 44, and with a Spell Tag, Shadow Ball does not kill Camerupt nor Golbat, meaning that there is only one thing we can do: trust in Metang. I fully EV trained 2 Banettes in both attack and speed, grabbed some TMs, which proved very difficult since I was flat broke from whiting out so many times, and entered the Space Center for hopefully the last time. Now, what was different about my strategy this time? Well, this time my strategy was built around Metang doing something stupid. I start off with a Shadow Ball into Camerupt, which doesn't kill, of course, which is actually a good thing. I want it to stay alive, which I'm counting on Metang to do the dumbest thing they can possibly probably do set up light screen, which it does. Then, obviously, Camerupt will kill Banette. But then I can just bring in my second Banette. Being the fastest thing on the field, I go first and manage to kill the Camerupt. But when Steven's AI selected his move, he saw the kill on Camerupt, meaning he will always attack into the Camerupt slot, which now should have Golbat in it, which works. And Metang goes for a Metal Claw into Golbat. Now, all should be well, as I can kill the Golbat with a Shadow Ball, right? No, because Mightyena used Scary Face on me for some reason, having my speed, making me slower than Golbat. But it's okay, I planned for this. I used Protect, hoping that Metang sees that he can kill the Golbat with Psychic. It's a foolproof strategy. Nothing can ever go wrong. I've won. Okay, we're fucked. Metang hits itself in confusion and I lose the battle. I head back into the Space Center, and this time I truly believe we have it. I send out Banette next to Metang, and it's like watching two ice skaters delicately skate to a symphony. They're in perfect sync. Each time one falls, the other one catches them. Every time Banette protects, Metang is there to kill the opposing Pokemon. It's truly beautiful. And after hours upon hours of attempts, Metang finally finishes off the last Crobat with his Psychic. It's enough to bring a tear to a man's eye. Truly beautiful. Cannot believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm actually sad to see that hunk of scrap metal go. Then it was time to stop the world's evil or something, I don't really remember. But after that, it was on to the last gym leader, Juan. He leads with a love disc for some reason, and Goopers easily takes it out. Then he sends in Crawdaunt, which I forgot to put an on-psychic move onto Goopers, so I send in Guy to die. The war between the Lombres and the Alakazams only deepens. I send in Please Don't, who, with the help of Goopers, gets Juan down to just his Celio with 1 HP and a Kingdra in the back. I send in Dookie to finish him off, and out comes the only reason to be afraid of this battle, Kingdra. This thing is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, and it has no weaknesses, making it an absolute menace. He starts by outspeeding my poor Dookie. I send in Swallow to retaliate, who thankfully outspeed. With an Endeavor, he's able to get Kingdra down to just a single HP. Then Manectric can come in and Quick Attack, winning the battle with just a single Pokemon left. But with Juan completed, it was time for our toughest challenge yet, the Elite Four. 5 consecutive fights in a row with no way to change our team. We need to find just 6 Pokemon who could take on all 26 without getting hit at all. And after looking at what we had to go up against, what we had currently wasn't gonna cut it. We couldn't just brute force Psychic our way through these trainers. In fact, the more I looked at it, I started to realize that beating this with any 6 Pokemon would be basically impossible. Finding a Pokemon that was strong enough to outspeed everything on Wallace's team and be able to knock them out in one hit, no matter how I looked at it, was impossible. No Grass type quick enough, no Electric type strong enough. If we were gonna do this, we would need to find a true powerhouse. A Pokemon that could learn a ton of different move types, was fast, hit like a truck, and even then would need a secret weapon. But I'm sorry to say, I wasn't able to find a Pokemon like that. I was able to find 2! First up, we need to head to the Safari Zone. Making our way all the way into the back, there's actually a secret Pokemon with a less than a 5% encounter rate that most people forget is even in this game. After searching for a while, I'm able to encounter a Heracross. And now we get to deal with all the fun that comes with trying to catch a Pokemon in the Safari Zone, throwing tens of balls only to have it run away. But after just a bit of trial and error, we're able to catch one. But that wouldn't be enough. We didn't need just a Heracross. We needed the perfect Heracross. I sat in the Safari Zone for hours just trying to find one. And after a while, he came to me. The hero of this run, the savior of this challenge, an angel sent down from heaven, Jeff the Heracross. And why is Jeff so freaking good? Well, I'll get to that a bit later, but first, we gotta grab ourselves a Magikarp, as Gyarados was the last member of the team we were missing. He's got one of the highest attack stats in the game, is incredibly fast, amazing ability. I mean, surely this is why we added him to the team, right? No, I was lying before. He's just like one of 2 Pokemon that learn Rain Dance, so it was either him or Castform. Sorry, Gyarados. But with that, the team was set. Pokemon from all throughout our run coming together to beat our last battle. Jeff, Metang, Bungus, the Biz, Dookie, and oh yeah, I guess I forgot to give Swallow a nickname. Whoopsie. Now is the time to ride into battle and claim victory. And with that, we stepped into the elite gauntlet that stood before us. First up was Sydney, who specializes in dark types, making this the perfect time for Jeff to show off his secret weapon. Go, Jeff, show them what you... Oh, crap. After a quick Metang sacrifice, I switched back to Jeff, and now it was time for Jeff's secret weapon, Reversal. Reversal is a fighting type move that gets stronger the less HP you have. And since we only have one single hit point, that base power is boosted all the way to 200 damage. And with stab on top of that, makes this an effectively a 300 base power move. While the 1 HP served to clip our wings, all it's done is unleashed a monster. Jeff easily knocks out all 5 of Sydney's Pokemon in one hit, and it's on to Phoebe, who uses Ghost type. This obviously nullifies Jeff's reversal, so it's time to switch up our strat. We lead Metang, who's able to one-hit knock out every single Pokemon on Phoebe's team. You see, the Elite Four is weird that it starts with really low-level Pokemon and ends with Pokemon in the high 50s, so these first 2 battles are but a warm-up. After laying Phoebe's Ghost to rest, it was on to Glacia, who once again doesn't stand a chance against Jeff's reversal.
Die.
And with that, we're on to the last member of the Elite Four, Drake. I was so nervous for this after I spent all the time planning this out, so I thought the only way to send off this run would be to do it with a live audience. I start the battle off with a Rain Dance from Metang, who is then taken out. Now I can send in Bungus. With Swift Swim now activated, Bungus both outspeeds and kills every single Pokemon on Drake's team with an Ice Beam. Well, all except one. Now, this is really bad. Kingdra also happens to have the ability Swift Swim. So because I set up the rain, the next 3 turns, Kingdra outspeeds everything on my team. I was hoping he'd come in last, but clearly I am not so lucky. I sack Jeff, meaning 1 turn of Rain Dance remains. I send in Swallow next, who I put Protect on for this to outlast the last turn of rain. I go to Dookie 2 to finish him off the Mach Punch and... Oh! Ah! I forgot about that. I don't really have a contingency plan for this because I just always thought the Swallow strategy would work. Luckily for me, this isn't Dookie. This is actually Dookie 2. And while you might have thought this was just some weird nickname I changed for some reason, this is actually an entirely separate Breloom. You see, this Breloom I trained up just in case something like this happened, delaying her evolution until she got Spore. If I can just put Kingdra to sleep, things will be looking much better. It all comes down to this. I lock in my move and... Oh, okay.
Our buddy Salmons.
This is actually, I think, really bad. I had planned on having the rain up when Salmons comes in, meaning that I would need to switch Gyarados, Rain Dance, then switch to Bungus, and then Ice Beam. But if I do that, then when Kingdra comes back in, the rain will still be set up. I could go straight to Bungus, but that would mean if Salmons wakes up, it would kill Bungus since he's slower. So this is really bad. But in true Shawnee Do fashion, I brought another secret weapon. You see, while the biz was to serve as mostly a Rain Dancer, I also packed him with a secret move by delaying his evolution. Flail. Flail is a normal type move that works just like Reversal, meaning that the biz's 1 HP gives Flail 200 base power. Now, while this isn't as strong as Jeff's stab boosted Reversal, I'm hoping that'll still be enough to take out Salmons. It's my only hope. So I decide to put all my trust in the biz. I click Flail and... Please. Oh! Yes! No, we're good though. Oh no, what if he heals? Yes! Oh my god! Okay. Now, he sends back in Kingdra, and I have literally no strategy for this. Just flail and pray. Please.
Oh.
Yes! All that's left is Flygon, meaning I can just set up Rain Dance and let Bungus finish the fight. With that far too close for comfort fight, we've completed the Elite Four, and only the champion remains before us. All the hours of grinding, all of the plans made, all of the infuriating battles with Metang, I hate that thing, all leading to this moment. I lead with Jeff as he leads with Wailord. A reversal takes him and Wishcash out. Next, he sends in Tentacruel. I prepared by teaching Jeff Earthquake with my TM and the Soft Sand, but even still, it's not guaranteed to kill. And I need Jeff for the rest of this fight. I click Earthquake and...
Yeah!
Next, he sends in Ludicolo, which also falls to reversal. And with that, just 2 Pokemon remain. He sends in Gyarados and, Wait, I actually kind of forget my strategy.
This is the time when you would need to remember.
This would be a good time to remember.
Now.
I also realize here that if he sets up a Dragon Dance, I completely lose the run because he will outspeed everything on my team. I obviously did not prepare for this at all because, menstrual cramps. But my aching uterus aside, what was my plan to take out this Gyarados? Well, firstly, I send Dookie 2 to her death, which is better than him dragon dancing, I guess. After that, I send in Swellow for an endeavor. He kills Swellow, and then I send in the Biz. Things are going well, but it would all come down to these next 2 turns. Can my Gyarados outspeed his? And if it can, could I kill it in just 1 hit? Wallace heals as I slap Flail, which just barely doesn't kill as Wallace spams healing items for several turns. But as we know, you can only do that for so long until your luck runs out. And with that, Wallace is down to his last Pokemon, Melodic. I Flail one last time, just barely not taking him out as Gyarados goes down to a Surf. We bring in Jeff for one last reversal, and... 100% of time.
Yay! Yay!
Oh my god, it's done. I did it. And with that, we had become the champions of the Hoenn region with just a single point of HP. This was probably the hardest challenge I've ever done on my channel, but I really mean so far, because I'm planning lots of other way harder Pokemon challenges and challenges in other games, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to pick your side in the war between Ludicolo and Alakazams, because they are coming for you. Bye!